Hi, I'm Stephen Reich here at Pegasus Games in Madison, Wisconsin, at one of the Pokemon trading card game Fates Collide pre-releases. I'm here with Devin, or as some of you know him, Maryland. And, this is kind of a big pre-release in a way because they changed up the way they do things here. They've really changed, how you get packs, how you build decks, and stuff like that quite a bit. So let's go over, first of all, Devin, let's go over some of the changes they made. So it used to be that you would get 6 packs, you'd build a 40-card deck with basic energy that's provided, and then you just play a couple rounds with folks. This time it's a little different. You get a little package, right? What's in there?
So I was rather surprised when I heard, they're going to be changing how pre-releases are run. And you're right. Nowadays you get a little package starting with this pre-release, and it's random. Everyone will end up with a different pack of 22 cards in addition to 4 packs rather than 6 booster packs of the newest set, like older pre-releases. So it has its pros and cons. I at first thought, are there going to just be commons in here? Are there going to be good cards? And I found out today, actually, and it's interesting. I'm kind of mixed on it, to be honest. So,
yeah, I can see some good and bad points, too. But, yeah, you get 4 booster packs, and then you get a special 22-card pack that has one of 4 pre-release promos, and then going along with that promo, they have a set of about 20 or so cards that include some trainer cards, a couple evolution lines, and some other stuff to choose from. So do you know which of the 4 possible insert packs did you get for your 22-card portion?
So I ended up getting the Tyranitar promo, and I guess that I'm not entirely sure what all the different ones are. This is my first pre-release. First of this new pre-release. I haven't looked too much into the different starter kit kind of things, but I ended up with the Fighting in the Dark one. So I used Lucario and Hawlucha and Carbink, and I had Mandibuzz and Tyranitar lines for that. And one thing I will say, I was actually pleased to see that there was a good selection of lines, and it had some trainers in it, which was kind of nice. But the fact that there are 4 promo cards, that's really interesting from a collector standpoint.
That is one of the things people were kind of worried about, that, since there's no way to tell what you're going to get until you open it, which I guess keeps it somewhat fair in a way, but it also makes it difficult to potentially get the cards you want. Now, the pack that I got in there was the White Kyurem pack, which comes with a similar fighting Pokemon to yours. It doesn't have Tyranitar, obviously, but it has the Carbink and the Lucario. And then on the water side, it has the Barnacle evolution line there. I can't remember the exact name, but yeah, they have that. Plus some supporters, which I think is a big thing a big plus actually going into this, is that in pre-release tournaments, if you're limited to whatever's in a set, the problem you can run into there is that each set will have a different group of supporters, and it may work out okay, or it may not work out very well at all, but of course, which ones you get in the number can determine a whole lot. So this kind of evens it out a little bit. What do you think about the trainer selection that came in the packs?
So I've been there at pre-releases where I've had to build a deck with 0 supporter cards. No trainers, no supporters, nothing to help. It's like, really? And it was refreshing knowing, hey, I have some options here. I have Shauna, I have Tierno. I have a few different things that could help. Obviously, I drew I pulled an N that was really helpful in the 3rd game that I played, but it was just really nice knowing that, hey, there's some good trainers here that can at least help. It's not perfect stuff that's, Professor Sycamore's or really good trainer cards, but it's at least good for pre-releases, which I guess is nice. It solves the problem of not having any supporter cards in a pre-release, and I do like that decision.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps maintain the balance. And one thing we've seen in previous tournaments that the folks at home might be aware of is that you'll often run into cases once EXs started coming to the metagame, that people would play one of those, and then 39 mostly energies with maybe a few trainers if they got some of those. And I didn't particularly enjoy playing against those too much. I did try to tech against them, but I think having Carbink, which is a safeguarder in this set, really helps. But I think the other changes did too. Do you think that the additional cards that are more structured kind of helped make decks that are maybe less random or stilted?
So I like it and I don't like it. Why I like it is the fact that now everyone kind of has a base and you're guaranteed to at least have something that will kind of work for a deck. Because I've played pre-releases where I have nothing. It's not going to happen. I played pre-releases where I get that one good Pokemon EX and I just play 39 energy or whatever. And I like that it's now accessible to anyone to, have at least somewhat of a working deck. However, what I don't like about it is it takes away a lot of that originality. I felt like pretty much everyone was playing whatever the, starter kit that they had. They were playing that, usually maybe one line, maybe both, and then like a few other cards here and there. You saw less of the really out there kind of combos or things that, might work very well in a pre-release, just because you already had a lot of good stuff, or things that wouldn't work well and you give it a shot and it works out pretty good anyhow. I think I miss that from the old pre-releases where you really don't know what you're going to get. Whereas with this, I felt like probably about half your deck by the time you've just seen the first starter kit promo card.
Yeah, that's definitely an effect. The cards you get in there, since they are so related, evolution lines, you can sort of just default to that, which I guess might be a good thing for newer players, which is what pre-releases have been targeted at, so that they don't have to maybe obsess as much about what cards to put in, or just not be able to figure things out from the cards they're getting sometimes. So maybe that helps there. But I do also see the point you're having, that it can also reduce variety to a point that it's sort of everyone has the same food, it's just what garnish they put on top. So maybe there's a happier medium to be found. So based on that suggestion, do you have, or that criticism, do you have any ideas on how they could maybe tweak it? Obviously, each set's going to be different. The opportunities there are going to be different. But maybe if they do keep going with the system, but they want to try and improve it for next time, any suggestions?
One of my initial concerns with how this was being done was the fact we're getting one less pack than before. We're essentially sacrificing a pack for this 22-card kind of starter kit. So as a player and a collector, I was really concerned, okay, is this going to be worth my money now? And currently, I feel like there's not quite enough of a value there. Like, I wish I would have had that extra pack rather than the 22-card thing. And I wish I didn't have to say it. I think it made the pre-release maybe a little bit more enjoyable, but then afterwards I look and I think, well, none of this really helps. I didn't get anything good in my 4 packs, so... And also, a lot of the cards that you would get in the 22, well, okay, now everyone has these cards, so if you pull one normally in the set, it's just not quite as good. I think they're on the right track with that. Like, I like it better than I thought I would. I was originally rather hostile to the idea, but I figure I would give it a shot, and I liked it, and, I'll definitely crave more of it if they'll refine it a bit more, so then we have just maybe better cards in the 22, or maybe like 6 options. I don't like the promos, though. The fact that there's 4. I wish that it'd be 2, or maybe 3. I feel like 4 is just too much from a collecting standpoint, and it makes that just a little too random.
Yeah, I'm guessing from maybe a packaging scenario that it was easier to have 4 promo cards because there were 4 packs. I mean, obviously they could do 2 and 4 or 2 and 8. I think that might not be a bad idea if they want to continue to feature more of the set, that they can try and pick out a different number, maybe 6 or 8 different sets of cards. So you're at least seeing more, even though you're still getting a set that's very organized like that. Like I said, what they're trying to do here is sort of maybe not make things quite as random, but still expose you to a larger portion of the set. Keep watching for more from this interview.
And it's so nice to have a good, solid lead that you can just start with in a pre-release. So I felt very comfortable with that.